Hey everyone, Rock DIY here. The video I'm about to do is not my typical content, but thought it was pretty cool. So I'm gonna cover this, and if you're like me and you thought loofahs came from the ocean or from the sea or wherever, or just showed up in your local store for you to purchase, it's far from the truth. I actually did think they came from the ocean, but I think I was thinking that loofahs and sponges are the same thing, but loofahs are not. In fact, this is a loofah that grows in your garden. At this point, it's not edible. When they're small, you can eat them. They're like a cucumber, but you'll see that I'm gonna show how to open this up and what you need to do to prep it. And right now, this one is ready, probably overly ready. If you let it go too long, it'll get lighter and lighter. It will lose a lot of its weight. But if you go too long, it'll start to rot, and you don't want it to get to that point. And then if you do have to open this up, if you do have a fingernail, I don't have any, what you want to do is start slicing it like this. You don't have to be overly gentle with this, but in my case, I don't have nails. But you also, if you're going to use a knife, you just want to use the very tip of it to break the skin, because if you do go too far, you will actually cut what you don't want to cut. And what I'm doing is keeping it inside, but against the back side of the surface of the, if you want to call it a skin. And then what you can start doing once you get it broke, see this one right on the tip was getting close to getting some rot. It's got a cucumber type smell, and then there's that. You can start to see that this one is starting to brown a little bit, so it was getting pretty close to probably starting to rot. But the other thing is, inside of it, you may not be able to see it or not, but there are a bunch of seeds in it, and you do want to remove those seeds. So there's different ways you can remove the seeds. I mean, if you don't have an issue with cutting this, you could cut it and then work the seeds out, or you can just leave it like is and work the seeds out. And just so you are aware that there is a lot of, for lack of knowing exactly what it is, there is a lot of starchy substance in this that you'll see this tabletop will be covered with it. It's a very, very starchy. So as you're working it, you may want to run it under water to get it flushed out. And you can use cold or semi-hot water to rinse it, because you can start to see some of the starches coming off of it. But one of the ways to remove seeds is just simply do this. And with doing this, it's going to take a while, and they do stay attached. And the other thing is you can just go around and tap it. Just be aware that you may not want to do this inside the house or somewhere that you don't want to mess, because the starch and the seeds will fly everywhere. They kind of look like watermelon seeds. It doesn't seem like there would be a whole lot in it, but there are quite a bit. And also by rinsing it, it also helps loosen up some of the seeds as well. Even when you think you got all the seeds, there's still some. Something else you could do, and I haven't really tried it, I'm going to use this and go around each of the little tunnels inside of it. Just kind of twirl it around some. Probably be more helpful in the beginning, but once it thins out, it doesn't work as well. The whole reason why this is something that I'm doing is because my wife decided to do this, and what she's doing is she's using the loofahs as regular loofahs, but she's also using them to make soaps. And then you slice the loofah, put it in, and then you put your soap in it, and then it's basically a loofah within the soap. Yeah, and you can slice it. I haven't tried it with a knife, but I'm actually using a circular saw, and you have to get the circular saw all the way up to speed, and then just go slow, and it'll cut it really good. If you catch it wrong or you start out at a slow speed, it's going to grab on, and it's going to basically just spin it into the blade and probably wrap around your blade. So you do want to wait for it to be dry. And then, so once all these seeds are out and you're letting it sit and dry, you want it to be completely dry. And what's going to happen is any moisture in it is always going to be on the bottom. So you do want to kind of keep it up to where it's not sitting on a flat surface, because if it sits on a flat surface like this, that water is just going to sit there forever, which could possibly cause some rot. So if you can put it on a towel or something, but keep it up so that the air can completely circulate around it to dry it out. You do want to rinse these really good, because the starch needs to come out of it, and just let it sit and dry. It needs to naturally dry. Don't use any kind of heat source. Don't put it in a window. Don't put it in direct sunlight or anything. Just let it sit and dry. And then once it's completely dry, you can do what you're going to do with it. And like I said, you can cut it in slices this way, or you can cut it in half and then cut it horizontally, and then use it however you're going to use it. Once they're completely dried and you want to actually use it, you just use it and just make sure it dries out when you're done using it. If you use it in your shower or tub or whatever, you don't want to. You basically want to hang it to let it air dry, versus leaving it on the tub side or somewhere on a flat surface again, because all that soap and water sitting in it can cause it to get nasty. And then also, if you use soap with it, make sure you get all the soap out. I don't have a water source where I'm at, so I've got to do as much as I can without water, but I will rinse it out. It does look like it's actually, most of the seeds are out. So the next thing to do is rinse it out. Yeah, it's pretty cleared out. So I'm gonna take this in the house, rinse it, and let it sit and dry. And you see, this one's not as bad. Some of the other ones I did, they're they make a big mess. You can save the seeds or toss them out. Depends on whether you want to grow some more or not. I'll show some pictures, and maybe do some video of what the vines look like as far as it growing. Of course, now it's winter, so everything's dying. So what you'll see is the aftermath of the growing season. And I think there's one loofah still hanging that was mistakenly left behind, that actually turned completely black on the vine. So I've got these different ones that are completely dried out. This was a little small one. There's a larger one, and then here's another one. And these are completely dry. And they stay together pretty good. they don't, like, you don't see much of anything fall off of them. Here I've got 2 more that are ready to go. And you may or may not see it, but if you get brown spots like this, like when I open this up, you'll see that the actual, you know, it's kind of a off whitish color. And when you get this on it, this will tend to be brown even after you take the skin out. You can see there was some here, so that's got a little bit of brown on it. Here, you can see there were some brown spots. So it does turn brown. So what, a lot of times what you see on the outside is what you'll see on the inside, but let's open this one up and see what we got. Yeah, so right here, it's kind of mushy. And then, like I was saying, you can see some of the brown in it. I don't know if I said it or not, but you can be pretty aggressive with smacking these. It's not like they're just gonna disintegrate or break or fall apart. You can be pretty rough with them. I think this portion right here may be completely rotted out. Yeah, the first one I did, I took inside and rinsed out. I did, once you start rinsing it, you'll see the pores open some. And once they're open, you can kind of see better what's inside. And so you will see some seeds inside it. And unfortunately, because it's full of holes, it's not like you can guide the water. You can run your water, but it's not like it's going to run down the little chambers and rinse out what's in the chambers, because the water's just going to go everywhere since it's so full of holes. Yeah, I'm thinking that part right there needs to be cut off, unless it rinses. I mean, it feels very thin right there as well. But I'm going to stop with this one for right now and work on this other one. See, that one didn't even have very much brown on the outside, but it's got a lot of brown on the inside. Some of that will rinse out. I actually think that's like the guts of the inside of the plant starting to go bad, so it starts to turn it brown. This one feels heavier than normal, so it wasn't quite, I don't know, there's no real perfect time to do this. I guess when they go from like a green, dark green to like a yellowish green, it's probably the best time to do this. Yeah, this one's got a lot of starch in it, so it's going everywhere. Seems like the more moisture they have, the harder it is to get the seeds to let go. You can actually hear them hitting each other right there. There's a lot of them down in there. I don't know firsthand that I haven't watched any videos on this. My wife says that she's seen some videos on it. I just kind of went my own way with this. So I may be covering exactly what everybody else is, but I just thought it was pretty cool to do it myself and share it. Yeah, sometimes it's just going around squishing it a little bit will break off some of the seeds. You don't have to worry about damaging it. It'll recover. All right, there's only a couple left in there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this inside and rinse it.